It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day and a very special succulent surprise. Sitting here to my right is my eldest daughter, Elizabeth, and you might notice that Elizabeth is expecting. We are having a succulent baby in March of 2018, and we're so excited about that.
It's a boy.
And it's a boy. Yay! All right. So yay Elizabeth, yay Ryan, her husband, and yay this hot mess of a vertical planter. Liz has offered to help me rehab this. It's been up at a client's for a number of months without any intervention. It's planted as cuttings all in sphagnum moss, and you can see how these cuttings have rooted into the moss and just grown. This arrangement is in La Jolla, so it's in a somewhat shady courtyard in a very, very mild climate. I don't recommend verticals in hot, full sun. Better that they have some protection, and they do really, really well on the coast. So you all have asked me a lot of questions about vertical gardens, so I thought we would just kind of walk you through the process of the rehabilitation.
Where do I get one of these?
Oh, the frames?
Yeah.
Actually, Daddy made this.
He did.
Yeah, Greg made this frame out of distressed barn wood that he picked up at the box store. We have hardware cloth on top of, stapled on top of, sphagnum moss stuffed with sphagnum, then hardware cloth stapled over top of that to hold the sphagnum in place. Then we just popped the cuttings in with the Aleene's clear tacky gel. As we go about working on this arrangement, I thought I'd give you the opportunity to get to know my oldest child a little bit better. So Elizabeth, or Sissy as we call her, what do you do all day?
What do I do all day? I'm a vice principal at an independent study charter school. So what do I do all day? It changes every day. Most of the time though, I work with teachers and students and work on instructional plans. It's pretty fun.
That sounds pretty fun. I'm extremely proud of her, as you can probably tell. Liz is, or Sissy, is been really helpful in the business. She's got an amazing eye and will tell me, you know, when something isn't right. She's also got a way with social media. So I consider Liz to be a creative consultant with our business.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. These really are really in there. You can see the roots that have formed. And, you know, just think about it. Not long ago, this was a cutting, and look at all of that stem that it has thrown off. Isn't that amazing? So we're just going to start over. I appreciate Liz coming over to help me work over this vertical. You know, this is not really different from an in-ground installation. So many of you are so confused about what to do with your succulents when they get leggy, whether they're in the ground or in an arrangement like this. You know, don't hesitate to rough them up, pull them out, and cut them up for parts, and then simply just reset. Remember what I always say, if your succulent stands up, you've done your job. Oh, you know what? I wanted to give a special shout out today. One of my followers is having a birthday. So,
Yay.
Happy birthday, Nancy Degnan!
Yay.
Yay, Nancy! Thank you so much for following, and I hope you had an amazing week.
Happy birthday.
Oh, and this is Thing, the succulent cat.
I have a question, Mom.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that there's not... Do we have to replace any of the moss, or is it okay?
Well, you know, as we run through this, if there are areas that are exposed or have lost their moss, we can absolutely tuck more in. We'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes.
And you said this has to go in shade?
Well, I would recommend, you know, morning sun, afternoon shade, depending, of course, on where you live. We don't want it to get fried. But as long as these get some protection, they really do hold up beautifully. I made this 2 years ago, and I've worked it over one other time. The rest of the time when I go to do maintenance at this account, I just simply tuck little pieces in here and there, spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes on it. I also will take this down off the wall, lay it flat, and water it really well to get the moss good and wet, go about my business doing maintenance, and then hang it back up on the wall before I leave.
How long till we can hang this back up when we're done?
As soon as the glue dries, so about an hour. That's just so funny, isn't it? Yeah.
What are these little stringies?
Those are air roots.
Really?
Yeah, plants are smart. And if they're feeling a little stressed or if they're not getting enough water, they will throw roots out to gather moisture from the air to help sustain themselves. It's just good old plant intelligence.
Am I murdering them slowly by picking them off?
Not at all. They'll make new ones. And you know, you can pick them off or leave them on, whatever your preference.
Are there any types of succulents that would not be good on a vertical wall? Or can I put whatever I want?
You know, I would suggest that you put whatever you want, because it really is going to depend on your circumstances as to what will thrive and what will not thrive. So much of what you need to do is trial and error. You know, we all have a different zone. We all have a different microclimate. We all have different growing conditions. So don't be afraid to experiment and just try. And if something doesn't work out, guess what? You know, try something else.
Was your first vertical wall a success or a failure? Do you remember?
Yeah, I had a failure because I forgot it looks like we use chicken wire here. I forgot the hardware cloth or the chicken wire, and I just installed the moss, and gravity happened. Everything in time, like, I don't know, like after a week, everything just kind of fell out onto the ground, you know. So I had to deconstruct, apply the wire, and then start over, and I was good to go. You know, I always say to embrace mistakes, because when you're doing it right, you're not learning anything. When we screw up is when we have the potential and the opportunity to learn. And so it's important to embrace that. I look forward to screw ups. And I'm not disappointed.
So, would this be considered a hot mess right now?
Would this be considered a hot mess? Well, that is subjective, isn't it? Yes, absolutely. And, you know, basically, I know I say that all the time, oh my gosh, look at this hot mess. And, you know, I had hot mess put on hats, and I've started this hot mess revolution because it occurred to me that I'm in a stage in my life where I want to embrace it. It's not, hot mess isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's an okay thing. Just live your life and embrace yourself and be kind to yourself no matter what's going on. Well, obviously we're going to be at this for a hot minute, aren't we? Yeah. So we're gonna wrap up the video. Liz and I will be at this for probably a couple of more hours. I want to again wish Nancy a very, very happy birthday week/month. And you know what? I tell you what. I know you're all going to want to see this when it's done. So, how about this? The first person that I see that comments when they see this up in a future video will win a hot mess hat. And for those of you that can't wait, go to my website at designforserenity.com and join the revolution. This has been Laura Eubanks with Liz Eubanks and baby, succulent baby, with your succulent tip of the day.